All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be covering rotations, and then we're going to be combining all three transformations which we've covered so far, which are translations, reflections, and rotations, and putting them together to transform a shape three different ways. Now, before we get started on the actual rotation work that I had planned for today, I just want to review why, when we're doing a rotation, we are changing the direction which we're counting our point. So in this case, when we are rotating a specific point, we're going to be counting a certain direction from our point in rotation. And then when we actually do our rotation, we're going to be changing the direction which we count in. So I want you to pay attention. So here we have our first point, which is 4 and 1. That's our point of rotation, 4 and 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to always draw a crosshairs through this point. Now, it doesn't have to be this large, but for this demonstration, I'm going to draw it this way. So we're going to count how far away point G is from our point of rotation. So G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 down, and 1 left. So if I want to do a quarter turn clockwise, I need to go and place this point somewhere in this section right here. So again, I've divided my sheet into 4 different parts, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I'm moving this 1 quarter turn, I'm going to move this point into this box right here. And I want you to look what happens to these arrows when I actually do a physical quarter turn. So right now, this point is 7 down and 1 left. When I actually do my quarter turn, my arrows have changed. My arrows have shifted. So now what I'm actually doing is I'm doing 7 left and 1 up. So when I'm rotating this point into the next quadrant, I'm going to be going actually 7 left and 1 up. So I go back to my original view here. Well, this line is now this line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 7 left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 up. And that will be my point G prime. And that's the reason why we change the direction we count when we're doing a rotation. So in this case, 1 quarter rotation to the left would result in us moving 7 to the left, 1 up. If I wanted to move point G 1/2 turn clockwise, I'm going to go 1, 2, and now look what happened to my arrows. It's 1 to the right and 7 up. If I wanted to go 3/4 turns clockwise, okay, again, 7 down, 1 left, 1, 2, 3. Now where's my arrows pointing? 7 right, 1 down. So you can use this trick, put it on a piece of paper while you're doing your rotations, and use it as a frame of reference. Use it to help you when you're completing the work. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the actual work for today. So we're going to perform 2 different rotations, and then we're going to record the coordinates for our new points. So our first rotation of shape ABCD is going to be rotated a quarter turn clockwise. So a quarter turn clockwise, and a clockwise is in this direction like that. Now our point of rotation is going to be -5 and 2. So our first step is always to draw our point of rotation. So we're going to go -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 2, 1, 2. So this point right here, and I'm going to write it down in pen. This point here That's my point of rotation. Now what I'd like you to do is to draw your crosshair, which goes through your point of rotation. And what I'd like you to do is draw it about 4 or 5 boxes on either side, just to help us out today. Okay, so I've got my point of rotation here, and now we need to move each of these points clockwise 1/4 turn. So all of these points are going to be turning this way, this direction, and ending up someplace around here. So let's move point B. So point B right now is on this straight line, which is part of our actual point of rotation. So all I need to do is count how far up it is, 1, 2, 3, 4 up on that straight line. Now, what we talked about earlier, when I do rotate this line rotated 1/4 turn becomes this line. So 1/4 turn becomes this line. So in this case, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. And this point is going to be called B prime. Now let's do point A. Point A is 1, 2, 3 up and 1, 2, 3 to the left. So again, I'm shifting this whole line 1/4 turn clockwise. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3 up. And that will give me point A prime. Now D, you'll notice it's on the same line as this crosshair I drew through my point of rotation. So all I need to do is count how far away it is from my point of rotation. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movements from my point of rotation. And again, this line is going to rotate and become this line. So point here is going to actually be called D prime. Now D prime and B share the same point. Is that okay? Well, of course it is. Now we're missing one more point, our C prime. Now in this case, when I rotated this, did anything change from my point of rotation? Well, no. So my point C doesn't move, but we have to label it as C prime. So now I have A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to connect the dots. And there I have rotated my shape 1/4 turn clockwise from point -5 and 2. Now I do have coordinates to place. So I'm going to go and find out my coordinates. So let's go find the coordinates for A prime. If I follow them all the way down here, I get -2 on my x-axis. And up here I get 5. So my first point is -2, 5. For B, it's -1 and 2. For point C, it's -5 and 2. And for point D, it's still -5, but it's 6. Now there is one more step, and if you do have a compass at home, I'd recommend that you use it for this step. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. What we're going to do is we're going to place the sharp point right here of our compass right on our point of rotation. We're going to extend our pencil to one of the points. In this case today we're going to be using point A. And I'm just going to go and draw an arc from A to A prime. Just like that. And then just draw an arrow. Now what that is, that's a rotation arrow, and it's showing us the direction and how far we did our rotation. So it was a 1/4 turn clockwise. All right, let's do the next one. So the next one is asking us to rotate EFGI 1/4 turn counterclockwise. So counterclockwise is again going this direction. So the opposite clock goes, and we're going to do it from point 4, 1. So let's go find our point 4, 1. So this is going to be our point of rotation. And again, just like last time, we're going to draw a crosshair which runs all the way through our shape. Now, ideally, I'd have you guys use a pencil for this, but pencil doesn't show up really well on this paper I have right now, so I'm using pen. Okay, now this one, you'll notice, is a little bit more difficult because our point of rotation is away from our original shape. But that's okay, we can follow the exact same steps as before. Now I'm going to use a blue pen for this shape. So I'm going to start rotating each of the different points. So let's start with point I. Now again, because I'm doing point I, and point I is actually directly on this axis that I've drawn with my point of rotation, if I'm rotating it 1/4 turn clockwise, point I is actually just going to go and rotate directly on the other axes here. So it's 1, 2 away from my point of rotation, down, so it's 1, 2 right here. We're going to call this point I prime. Now we're going to go and do E. Now E is 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. So in this case, or sorry, 3 right. So in this case, we're actually going to go 3 to the right and 3 up. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And right there, we're going to have our E prime. Now let's do point F. Point F, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and 1, 2, 3 to the right. So again, that down movement's going to be to the right, and that right movement's going to be to the up. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be F prime. Now let's move point G. Point G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 down and 1 to the left. So in this case, we're going left. When we do that rotation, that left movement's actually down. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 down. That's point G prime. And H is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, 1, 2 over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, which is point H prime. Just like last time, we're going to connect the dots. E to F. F to G. G to H. H to I to E. If you do have a compass handy, we're going to go from our point of rotation. Place your pencil or other marking tool on point I in this case. We'll just do the nicest, shortest distance and just draw an arc from I to I prime. Draw your arrow. And we're done the actual rotation. Now let's find our points. So in this case, our points for E are going to be 7 and 4. For F are going to be 9 and 4. For G are 11 and 0. You'll notice that G is right on our x-axis here. For H, it's going to be 9 and -1. And for I, it's going to be 6 and 1. And that's your rotations. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put everything we've learned so far together and complete 3 different transformations. And we're going to transform this shape through a translation, a reflection, and finally a rotation. So we're going to do our first work, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a translation. We're going to translate this shape 10 left and 3 down. So as you're doing your work, you should always go and translate each point individually. However, if you do want to cheat, translate one point and then you can draw the rest of your shape using that one translated point. So we're going to go and move this 10 left and 3 down. Now, if you look at this point, point A is 4 on the x-axis. So if I'm actually going to move 10 to the left, I'm going to go 4 minus 10, which will actually get me to this -6. Now it's 1, 2, 3 down. It's -3 down. Well, -3 minus 3 is -6. So I know already that this point should be -6, -6. Let's find out if I'm right. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, right there. That's going to be my A prime. And we can see -6 on the x-axis and -6 on the y-axis. Now let's move B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be B prime. Now moving point C. And C prime. Moving point D. To give us D prime. And point E. E prime. Now connect the dots. And there we have our translated shape. Now we are forgetting one important part, our translation arrow. So we're going to move from point C to C prime. And just like that, we have our translation. Okay, our next step, we're going to do a reflection, and I'm going to use a red pen for this one. So I'm going to have to put a line of reflection. So in this case, it's telling me that we want to reflect this shape. We want a horizontal line of reflection from the point -4 and -1. So first thing I need to do is plot in that point, -4, -1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1. There's my point. So it's telling me to do a horizontal line of reflection. Now horizontal means left to right, side to side. So I'm going to go and put down my horizontal line of reflection just like this. Now, when I'm doing a reflection, it's very important I'm always counting the spaces from my line of reflection to my point. So I'm going to count to move point E prime. I need to count 1, 2, 3 down. Now, reflection is always the opposite. So if I went down, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. And this point is going to be called E double prime. Every time we do a transformation and we transform a shape that's been transformed, you have to add another prime. So in this case, to find D double prime, we're going to count how far D prime is away from our line of reflection. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be called D double prime. Now let's move C. C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is going to be called C double prime. Now let's move B. B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B double prime. And then finally, we get to move A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A double prime. Just like last time, we're going to connect the dots. A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and then E to A. Now we're nearly done. We're just missing one important part, which is our line of symmetry. Now the line of symmetry is telling the person looking at this reflection that these two segments are exactly the same distance apart. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a straight line from 2 points sharing a letter, so A double prime, or sorry, A prime and A double prime. So draw your straight line. And double check that it's the same distance. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, they're the same. And we're going to add just a little tick mark here. And what that tick mark means is that this line from here to here is the exact same size, the same length as here to here. Okay. Now, one last step to do. We have a rotation. So we're going to rotate this shape right here. We're going to do a half turn clockwise from point 1, 7. So, as always, we need to go and draw our point of rotation first. So it's from 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right here. That's going to be my point of rotation. So as before, I'm going to go and draw my crosshair. Just through it like this. Again, if I was doing this on my page, I'd be using a pencil, but I really wanted to show up for you guys. Okay, now what I have to do is do my rotation again, half a turn clockwise from point 1, 7. So you'll notice that most of this shape is located in this quadrant here. If I'm moving it a half turn clockwise, most of this shape is going to end up here. The only point that's going to be in a different section is point C double prime. Now we're going to use the same process as before. We're going to count how far each point is away from our point of rotation, and we're going to rotate each point on its own. Now, one thing you'll notice is that as we rotate our points, if I say left on our rotated line, it's actually going to be right. Because it's a half turn, everything is going to be reversed. So let's move point C double prime. So C double prime is located 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left and 1 up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 4 to the left and 1 down. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, 4 to the right, my apologies, and 1 down. That's going to be called point C triple prime. Now let's do point D. Point D is 1, 2 to the left and 1, 2, 3 down. Again, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3 down. So what I'm actually going to do is go 1, 2 to the right and 1, 2, 3 up. That's going to be called point D triple prime. Now we can move point E. Point E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E triple prime. Now we can move point A. Point A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. A triple prime. And then our last one, B, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And that'll be B triple prime. As always, we're going to connect the dots. A to B, well, B to C, C to D, D to E, and E back to A. We're going to take our compass, and we're going to add our point of rotation. We're going to go from our point of rotation from point D. I'm going to draw an arc from D to D prime right there. And again, we went clockwise, so my arrow was going clockwise. Now, last step, what we have to do is put in our points, our coordinates. So in this case, my coordinates for A triple prime are going to be 8 and 10. For B triple prime, it's going to be 6 and 9. For C triple prime, 5 and 6. For D triple prime, it'll be 3 and 10. And E triple prime, it'll be 6 and 12. Over 6 and 12. And there you have it. We've done a translation, a reflection, and a rotation, all from our original shape, A, B, C, D, E. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.